Everest Week has arrived and we have a stacked Trackwork show for you, from the beach to the stables and everything in between. We caught up with a host of Everest contenders, including my mate Jimmy Starr. All the latest from this week's Trackwork. Joe, a very busy week ahead for you, particularly on Saturday. I'll start with Marzu, who secured himself a slot in the Everest. You're no stranger to winning the race, but what I wanted to ask you was, when I spoke to Jason Collett in the Beaten Jockeys, he said to me, he just had this big smile on his face and he said, I can't tell you anything else except how well he's going. He just surprises him.
Just been really happy with him. So he's a very fast horse and he's been putting himself up and out of trouble, and he'll do the same on Saturday. You can make a pretty good argument that he hasn't got the class of a couple of the others, but he's a tenacious fighting sort of horse who I'm sure run a really good race.
And versatile.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's been good. He doesn't have to lead, but I think he's happiest when he is leading. He certainly looks happy, and he's showing probably more speed than he's ever shown this preparation. And I'm not sure what to put that down to. He's feeling very well, so he'll run them along on Saturday, and I'm sure it's going to be another great version of the race.
And then we'll touch on the King Charles as well. You have Trailwolf and El Costello both coming out of the Epsom. We'll touch on El Costello first because I think he's such an interesting horse, a 4-year-old Entire. First of all, what's he been like since you've had him? I know we've touched on he's a horse you've managed a little bit.
Yeah, look, he's very colty and a touch hard to handle at times, but manageable. And I was very disappointed in his Epsom run because I thought he set up really well in that race to run well, and he sort of burst through along the inside. Now, the reason why horses get beats often, a few different things coming together, and I'm not sure that the firmness of that track and being second up played into our hands there. So I'd love to think we could get a little bit of give in the track for both the horses in this race, both my horses in this race. But he's going really well. Very happy with him. Worked well this morning. I couldn't see any reason why he wouldn't bounce back, and he ran very well first up.
And how's Trailwolf come out of that run?
Yes, super. Very, very happy with him. He's not enjoying these really firm tracks that we've got at the moment. So I'm hoping, as I noticed there's a distinct drop in the weather from Friday to Saturday, hopefully there's a storm in there somewhere. So, but he's competitive and he's going to be thereabouts. But I think the best version of this horse comes when he gets a track like he got last King Charles Day, which was a 5, just to sting out.
I did see there was about a 40% chance of a bit of rain in the morning, so you never know.
They always get it wrong.
Get it wrong. Who would know? We certainly don't. In the Sydney Stakes, the undercard to the Everest, Coal Crusher, Golden Mile and Dragonstone, will they all head there?
Yep, they sure will. 3 very competitive horses. Golden Mile first start for the stable. Coal Crusher was a fantastic run here first up. Very pleased with him. He'll get his blinkers back on. Look, they're 3 extremely competitive horses which won't be far away, and what I think is an inferior version of the race this year. It doesn't look as strong as I've seen it in past years.
And how's Ashika, the lad?
Yes, really happy with him. So he's going to have a trial here on Friday over 1,200 metres and go to the Spring Champion Stakes. I think he's looking for the 2,000 metres. Adam Hieronymus will stick with him. I think he's the early favourite in the race, and he'll be very hard to beat.
What's he like at home?
He's a handful. Yeah, he's a bit of a lad, but he's good. Like I don't think there's anything nasty about him, but he's a horse who thinks a lot of himself for good reason. Good-looking guy. He thinks a bit too much of himself, but he's a confident horse, and looking forward to seeing him in a Group 1.
Well, isn't he just such a dude? I know he's a special horse to you, but look at the way that he's standing here this morning. He's just a lamb.
He really is. He's a wonderful individual, this bloke, and he's so cool. He's not that big, but he's an absolute pocket rocket. We're all very, very proud of him. We love him to death, and he's got a big cult following, and he's just our special boy. Look at that. You're going to say something too, mate? Eh?
He's got something. He's always got a lot to say.
He has always got a lot to say. No.
So what's your story with him?
So I remember I got the phone call from Johnny O'Neill to say that Ozzy and Matt Becker had found this horse, and they shared the video, and he was racing in New Zealand. He trialled in New Zealand, and it was just, and you went, yeah, he's pretty special. So we jumped in him, right? At the same time, about a week or so later, there was another one they bought, which was Gringotts, and they sent it through, and they said, "You've got to be in this one too." And I said, "How many Purinquintos do you need in your life?" So I stayed in this one. I didn't jump in the other one, but still a great result. So he's very, very special to all of us, all of our family, all of the owners. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun on Saturday, right? They're going to know that he's well and truly in this, and we're just so proud that he's there. Kieran and the team Joe, Jack Turnbull, they've done an amazing job with the horse to be able to get him here.
And you've been an owner for a long time, but would he be one of your favourites?
He's very much a favourite, and I love all of them. Right, there's a great mate of mine said you'd buy all of them, but you can't afford to do that. But yeah, he's a wonderful horse, and he's wonderful to be part of.
Well, Amy, I'm sure you're almost sick of me by now. I've spent pretty much every other day out here coming and seeing Jimmy and having a chat to you. He had his final fast work yesterday. How did he gallop?
Yeah, really well. Very, very pleasing piece of work. I think he's exactly where we need him to be right now. And he was at Botany Beach this morning, just recovering, nice little wade in the water. He loves that, he does that every week and he absolutely loves it. And this afternoon he'll go for a swim, and we'll just keep it very light in for the rest of the week and make sure he's happy. But at this point he's a very happy boy.
He always takes everything so well in his stride. He's got a couple of his owners out here giving him a carrot this morning, and he just stands beautifully for all the cameras. He's sort of got that star appeal, doesn't he?
He really does. He actually loves it. Yeah, the more they come out, the better. He's very much a guy that likes attention, that's for sure.
And it's a really big week for you guys too, because I know you've got a couple of others. Obviously Tempted's at Bong Bong, but all reports say that she's coming along well down there.
Yeah, fantastic. She galloped as well yesterday, and I know Joe and Kieran were very, very pleased with her piece of work. So overall we're in very good shape.
And we see Pride of Jenny, she'll travel up this week from Melbourne.
She will, yeah. She's going to come up on Wednesday night, so be here early Thursday. And she galloped as well yesterday. Deck Bates had a sit on her, and his reports were very positive, so all systems go.
She always seems to settle in well here at Warwick Farm too every time I've come out and seen her.
Yeah, she does. She's very much the boss, so she knows exactly where she is. She'll come flying in and announce herself, and she'll only be here for Thursday and Friday, obviously before Saturday, so it'll be very light with her as well, and she loves to swim as well, so be a bit of a queue over at the pool.
And it's a hot week too.
It is, yeah, but it's good because we are able to get them out and get the sun on their back. So Jimmy's routine every afternoon is pool first and then a nice little pick in the sun, and you saw there this morning he stood out there for about 20 minutes and didn't move a muscle. He's a sunbaker, so yeah, no, it's good.
Well, look, if I ask you about all your horses this week, we'll be here all morning, so I'll try and pinpoint a few. We'll start with Overpass, going first up into the Everest. How is he?
Yeah, he's great. We're really happy with him. He's had probably a bigger or better than he had going in the Sydney Stakes last year, so he's got to be at the top of his game. But he's had a couple of gallops between races and 2 good trials, and he galloped really well this morning, so Josh was over the moon with him. So going in that we know he's as fit as we can have him.
And then we'll touch on then the undercard, that is the Sydney Stakes. You've got nommed What A Goes Sandpaper, She's an A-lister, Imperial Force, Caballas, Disneck, Iona Merck. Maybe we'll start with Caballas resuming.
Yeah, I think Boom was pretty keen to win it again, maybe. So we've got a few chances. Caballas is going enormous. He obviously only had the one run last time in at Scone, won first up, and then unfortunately had a bleed. So he's had his time off. He's had 2 good trials. He's in great order, and they've been really sharp trials. And his work at home today was great. So going in that 1200 is a bit of an ask for him first up, but confident that he's well and going well.
Disneck, a last start winner.
Yeah, he was super. He's always a little bit underestimated, but and he's up at the top of his grade now. But he was great last start. If you just switch him off and give him clear air, he runs on really well. So he's going to be a good show again.
Got a big feed order coming in behind you there at the moment. Geez, I imagine that truck comes around quite often.
Yeah, most days, so it doesn't really stop, unfortunately.
Never ending. A lot of horses to feed, a lot of mouths to feed. And we'll just touch on She's an A-lister too, who resumed there over 1,000 at Warwick Farm.
Yeah, I thought she was fantastic. She goes super fresh. She does like 1,000. 1,200 is probably at the top of her wheelhouse, but she's run some really good races in the past. She's been second in a Group 2 or third in a Group 2, so I think she's going really well, and her work was great. So I think she's a definite outside chance.
Fumous off that impressive win in the Yanks.
Yeah, she was outstanding, and great to see her back to her best. She just probably toiled away at the shorter distances a little bit too long. Now she's got up to the mile. She's really hitting her straps again, and we had good opinion of her last prep, that we thought a race like the Golden Eagle would be right up her alley, but it's taken a little bit longer this preparation to come to hand, but now she's going really well, and she's going to be a good chance again Saturday.
Similar story in the Silver Eagle. You've got a stack. So we might touch on a new acquisition to your stable, Mayfair, who's first up off 2 nice trials.
Yeah, he was super the other day in his trial. He's going really well. He's obviously a very well-performed horse. He's run third in the Golden Rose to the likes of Broadsiding and Traffic Warden. So it's good form for a race like this. He's obviously got to come back this preparation, but everything we've seen of him has been great, and we've been happy with his trials. So he goes in as a good chance.
And Raikkonen, who resumed over 1,200?
Yeah, he was a good return. He was obviously up in grade now and pretty hot speed that day, which Disneck ran over the top of them and won. So he'd taken really good benefit out of that. He's a pretty casual customer, so the run will do him the world of good. And up to 1,300 will suit. He'll be peaking Saturday.
All right, last race. It is the King Charles III Stakes. Within the law you scratched with, obviously out of last weekend. You still maybe yet to decide what happens, but she might be there on the weekend?
Yeah, I think we're still having a think about, obviously got the option to go potentially to the Spring Champion, which will be 3 weeks. But he's not against potentially even running this Saturday and backing up into a Spring Champion. So she's on a bit of an open now. It's a bit of a stumps on Saturday against those top liners, but she gets in with 48 kilos, so no weight on her back, and she's been running really well and probably hasn't had the strongest tempos in her races, so it looks to be definitely with Pride of Jenny going to get a good solid tempo, which will suit her. Yeah, I don't think she's out of it if she goes round.
And Pericles in the Epsom, who had that big weight and he ran third behind Autumn Glow.
Yeah, he was awesome. I thought he was fantastic. He just probably got shuffled back a little further than we probably would have liked in the early stages, and just lost sort of the back of Autumn Glow early. But he ran really well. He finished off really strongly. She's obviously a super mare, and I think that form will definitely stand up in a race like this.